Welcome back to BRB Gamer. You're here with me, Thor.
Stubborn Pixel.
Chthonox.
This is Hav.
And today
Retro
we're
GM.
talking...
Hey, what about me and Retro GM?
Sorry, you took a second there. Damn it. Thankfully, Choosh can mix that up.
Okay, so.
And today we're talking about how our Halloween went, maybe some PS5 and Xbox discussion, and some other retro gaming things.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
So how was your Halloween, guys?
Well, we ate some candy and we gave none to trick-or-treaters and played Castlevania.
Yeah. Well, my wife made a pie yesterday, and I have a weird sleep schedule, so I got sugared out and fell asleep. And so my wife took my daughter trick-or-treating. So
It's illegal to trick-or-treat in my neck of the woods. So we built a candy haunted house and set up a wall to take pictures. And once we were ready, my son didn't want to take pictures.
That's how ours was too.
Yeah, they really did not want to take photos, no nothing, no costume pictures. They just ran off. It was terrible.
I was just happy that my daughter, for the first time ever, didn't want to be a witch. I don't know where that came from, but she every year I want to be a witch. Daddy, I'm going to be a witch. I'm going to be a good witch this year. No, I'm going to be a bad witch every year. And then finally this year, 7 years late, she finally goes, I'll just be Elsa. It'll be good.
Elsa's easy. Ours wanted to be mermaids this year. They both were like, "Hey, we're mermaids. We're under the sea, and you're the mermaid dad." I'm like, "Cool." I got my Triton. Leave me alone though, because I'm really trying to farm some demon souls from Castlevania. Go ocean over there.
Nobody here did what we did, carving pumpkins.
Did not carve a pumpkin here.
Yeah, we
Forgot about that.
That's right.
Completely.
I actually have pumpkins in the house for some reason. My daughter went to the orchard with her with my mother-in-law, and they brought back pumpkins, and I completely forgot about them until this moment.
I didn't know about this thing that certain families or people do where they just buy pumpkins and decorate their houses with pumpkins. Like,
Yeah.
What's the size of these pumpkins?
Then I married my wife and she brings home pumpkins with warts on them and different colored ones just for decoration.
Huh.
I mean, we have like fake pumpkins inside the house
Yeah, we
that
have
light
one
up.
fake light up pumpkin, but otherwise we just bought 2 pins with the intention of carving them.
And doll heads. Don't forget about those.
Right.
Oh God, the doll heads.
Bring back the doll heads. We still
No.
have those. The LEDs burned out in them though. So
Yeah, so they're
It's even creepier. Just
they're just
unlit
these
doll
black eyes.
heads.
Unlit
Yeah.
doll heads in their living room. Actually
Yeah.
looking at us right now.
Yeah, they just live in the media center. It's
My
Just
wife
there
wants to
year
start
round
collecting dolls. I told her, please don't.
oh God, no.
No, you can't collect
No,
dolls.
Don't collect dolls.
Because if you have dolls, the next step, the dolls are haunted. The next
Exactly.
spirit haunts the doll. And what happens after that is you got to go.
They start moving. They start following you with their eyes. I can't have any of that. It's
a whole
haunted.
thing.
It's spooky.
But hey,
You know what else is spooky? How quickly they put the damn Christmas decorations out after Halloween.
Hey, it was even before Halloween that my Costco had all the Christmas decorations.
My wife went to the grocery store today, right? And they already got rid of all the Halloween stuff and had a full Christmas display out already.
Yeah, they're like, forget 2020. We're ready to move on.
Yes.
Everyone was asleep for
doing
9
this.
months. Don't worry about it.
we're
Yes.
leaving this behind us. And
Get through the rest of the year. Just get us to 2021. Not that that'll magically take care of everything. We'll pretend.
2020.
Took my daughter into learning piano so I can turn her into my little Christmas music robot, and I'm very happy for it.
play Jingle Bells.
Again.
Forever.
You can just tell Google to do that. He's like, "Hey Google, play Jingle Bells," and it'll just oh fuck.
Mine's Alexa. My Alexa
So-
does everything.
No.
So
No.
is everybody getting each other brand new consoles for Christmas?
Is the PS5 out this year? I'm not up to date on the world.
Yep. PS5 and Xbox are coming out next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
The Xbox 2?
Yeah, the Xbox
No,
X or whatever.
Xbox. There's no
whatever
Xbox 2.
it's called.
The
they're getting-
Terminator thing that attacks you? The Xbox One X Series S?
Have you guys seen the absolute unit that is the PS5?
Oh my
The
God.
size comparisons are outrageous.
They really,
It's so
are.
big.
Yeah,
They did Sony put out a teardown video, right, for the PS5, and the guys that's sitting there taking it apart, and when he first holds it up, the thing is the size of his torso.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Go big or go home. No, that's not okay. I celebrate the PS5. I bought a PS Vita. It's a 2000 series and it's wonderful. and I realized how expensive Sony proprietary memory cards are. My
A
God.
physical game console?
Yeah, but it's all digital games.
Does is there an SD card conversion for the?
There is. Now, here's the thing: you have to be on firmware 3.6 or below to hack the Vita, jailbreak it, and put on the custom firmware for the SD, card adapter to work. Unfortunately, mine came with 3.73, and it's not possible to downgrade from that state. You can buy the motherboard of the Vita on AliExpress and then do some trickery to get it to go. But I'm like, I'll just use it as a Vita. I have Vita games. I can download them from the PlayStation Store.
Well, I know the Vita's gotten a lot of new life as a retro gaming handheld as well.
And I was looking forward to trying that out. But again, you got to be on that 3.6 or below firmware.
Yeah. So it's all custom firmware for it. Then it has to be on that.
Yeah, it's called Henkaku.
Oh, is there a surprise firmware update? No. Hey, by the way, I hope I don't sound too bad.
Hey, Dad. Ryan.
Excuse me. Hey, guys. But last I checked, you could downgrade to below 3.6 to install the permanent Henkaku version. But I'm not sure if Sony patched that out. I thought they stopped touching the Vita a long time ago.
There has to be a way to hack that thing.
If there isn't, there will be soon.
Super active homebrew scene. Like N64 emulation on the Vita has gotten really hot recently. You can emulate N64 games with native widescreen support, and they run at the native resolution of the Vita, and the game compatibility is actually getting pretty wide. I've heard it's pretty sick. I might have to bust mine out of storage to give it a shot sometime.
I still might try that out, try to crack it. If it's possible to downgrade the firmware, even if you're already on 3.73, then
3.73 is hackable at the moment.
Really?
Oh, would you look at that? Well, I've got reassuring news for you. Hacking a Vita is super, super easy.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's literally like a one-step, 2-minute process to get that thing hacked. It's much, much easier than the 3DS.
So the $200 I spent on 64 gigs of memory, I could return.
Yeah, probably.
You can. Once you get that thing hacked, there's a thing you can buy called SD2 Vita. It's a little adapter.
I know. I bought that first and I put it in. I'm excited. I'm like, I can throw on my 500 gig SD card. And here we go. It was like, no, don't recognize.
No,
like, you got to hack it.
Sony would never be so kind as to let you use a non-proprietary storage format on their stock firmware. They don't have that much kindness in their heart.
Yeah, I just saw the other day that they somebody finally made a Memory Stick Pro Duo to micro SD adapter for PSP players. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So PSPs, I'm more of a PSP than Vita person, but the PSP is so old now. I don't really feel like there's a point in resurrecting mine.
It's difficult. I picked up a PSP Go recently. I've been on a mission to collect handhelds of yore. And the PSP Go is still, it's a great little handheld. It's tiny. It's smaller than the Retroid Pocket 2. The only problem is you can't get it on Wi-Fi because you have to have a wireless B network. Who has wireless B in their house anywhere?
No.
That's
yeah.
What is?
I find that a lot of the time when I'm using like earlier consoles and handhelds. The Wii's a pain in the ass to get connected to the internet. So is the DS. So is the PSP.
Yeah.
I tend to make guest networks for that kind of stuff while I'm using it, and then get rid of the guest network.
But does your router have the ability to actually broadcast a wireless B signal?
Yeah, I have a high-end Nighthawk that has a lot of options for that. So
okay.
But even if you splurge like $50 on a cheapo router, like even that is miles ahead of the shitty default router modem combos. I've been meaning to splurge on a little $50 beater because the Comcast default, that thing struggles with streaming 1080p YouTube videos. It stutters like hell.
Get your little Linksys 1900 ACS and put DDWRT on it in your set.
Does it improve performance at all?
Dude, it's fantastic. I love it.
Cool.
Geez, oh Pete, I'm so glad that pretty much everything is 5 gigahertz and USB-C now. We don't have to sit here and screw with all this. Yeah, the retro, except for the Retroid Pocket 2, that's still 2.4 gigahertz. That's still being worked on.
And even older than that, if you own a PSP.
Yeah.
And you're going to have even slower Wi-Fi.
Was that the first mention of the Retroid Pocket 2? Can someone notice?
Just had to.
And we're allowed to. We've been so trained to not.
Yeah. Forcefully asked to not to.
Do not do it.
Don't. Just don't. Don't talk about the thing that brought you together.
Don't say its name. The device shan't appear.
So what have you guys been playing on your Retroid Pocket 2s or whatever?
Well, just played through Clock Tower. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
I'd never played it for Super Nintendo before. That yeah, it's been neat.
Point and click.
Point and click.
Yeah, but
They have a Clock Tower on PS1, right?
That's the one I'm more familiar with.
Yeah, okay.
Scissor Man's running after you, or he's kind of like leering at you. He's
got
chopping his scissors.
Yeah, the scissors.
Are there any like big differences between the PS1 and the SNES version? Because I saw a patch that like added all the PS1 content to the SNES version, and I thought that was really cool. But then I just wondered what the point of that was if you can just play the PS1 version.
The PS1 version has a little bit better graphics, and are we talking about the Clock Tower, the Japanese release, or the American release, which in Japan is called Clock Tower 2?
Oh my gosh.
It gets very complicated fast. I was trying to read up on it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play the one for SNES because it's simple. It works. There's a ROM hack for it that makes it English, and call it good.
Yeah, I tend to go for the SNES versions of cross-platform if they are competent enough, just because I've got a full SNES ROM set. So, if I want to play something and I don't want to hunt it down online, I can just hop into the SNES version pretty easy.
I just went down the deep dive for the ROM hacks because I downloaded a FF6 ROM for SNES, and when I opened it, there were like, no shit, 60 different versions in there.
Oh, yeah.
With all the ROM hacks and all that kind of stuff. And holy crap, the amount of time that people have put into this is unreal. Because it's not just the translation stuff, it's also like bug fixes and things like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when people are passionate about a game, when you go to look at ROMs and you see like 40 different versions of the game, you're like, okay, that's obviously a game worth playing because someone's taken the time to make hacks for every little possible variable.
Oh, without a doubt. It's like, was it Star Ocean? If you look that up and you try to find a translation and things like that for it, and holy crap.
2003, shout out. The best
I remember I legally acquired a copy of Super Mario Brothers 3, legally. And it was just a big zip file with like 60 different ROM hacks.
Yeah.
And I sorted through for like, a good few minutes trying to find the original, and it just wasn't in there. Like they forgot about the actual fucking game, the sea of ROM hacks. This is why it always baffles me when people ask, like, where can I find ROMs for games? Like, it is the easiest thing in the world to Google. Why are you trying to delegitimize our server when you are literally like 2 keystrokes on Google away from getting what you want?
I always have to stop myself. You guys know about let me Google that for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have to stop myself with that stuff and not be a jerk about it and put that in the link and then send it to.
I did that like 2 days ago for one of our frequent users, one of our frequent members. I'm not going to name drop, but they asked me a question in DMs, and I was like, dude, seriously? And they're like, what? I'm like, all right. And I gave him the let me Google that for you link. And he's like, oh, I guess I could have looked it up. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. Just I had to let me Google that for you because it was so stupid.
See, I have the exact opposite problem. Like if I have a question about something, unless I'm directly talking with like Turtle, because he's the wizard. If I have any sort of problem, I will not ask anybody. I will immediately go to Google and see if I can find a result.
You find the answer yourself.
Papa Thor, the self-made man.
It's not even that. I just automatically assume that people are going to go, well, I've never done that before, So I'm like,
there's always somebody on Google who's done what you're looking to do. So
there's
just
always somebody.
Consult their wisdom. They've got it.
Like
except apparently add a USB Wi-Fi chip to Android.
Right. Possible.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but if you want to turn yourself into a human popsicle, for some reason, and there's all sorts of tutorials on eHow and.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of Fifth Element.
You want to knit a Deadpool costume for your dog. There's a way. You can make this happen.
There's a YouTube video.
So what else have you guys been playing?
I've been playing Symphony of the Night myself.
Nice.
It's nice because, it's got save rooms scattered about literally everywhere. Nice. So, I can hop in for quick sessions and get a little Castlevania in while I'm on the toilet or whatever. And then I got to get back to real life. It works really well as a pop in and play handheld game. It's pretty great for that.
I love it, man. That's so good.
The problem is that it's super engaging. I've had like 2-hour-long poops playing Castlevania before, just keeping track of time.
I started the Retroid handheld server while pooping, so I mean,
great things happen on the toilet.
There you go. That's the kind of content we need right there. Backstory.
I do all my best reading on the toilet.
When you're in full parent mode, like that's the only place, Yeah. Like I feel bad taking my phone into the toilet. I know everybody does it, but there's still that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm pooping. They probably shouldn't be in there, but that limitation has gone away with having a child, especially when for at least 4 years, every time I went to the bathroom, she would stand outside the bathroom and jiggle the door handle. Hey, what are you doing? I'm going to the bathroom. Leave me alone. I love you. Go play. So that was kind of, my sanctum solarium, my sanctum pooparium, right?
Yeah.
To be able to sit there and just for a few minutes play a Picross game on my phone and not deal with it,
I love it, man.
Yeah. I was raised in a pretty large family household. My family's got 7 kids to its name, the one I came from. So as a teenager, I learned really fast that I could poop for solace, like to throw some earbuds on in there and just be alone for a while. And that habit kind of stuck. I found myself doing it in college. Like the rooms would be empty. I would be the only one there, and I'd be like, man, I really need to relax and read a book right now. And then I'd go take a poop I didn't have to take.
We're definitely part of that Game Boy generation,
Yeah.
I mean, any of us that had siblings or parents that watched TV, we couldn't play on our Super Nintendos and stuff like that all the time. But with the Game Boy, it just nonstop. Forget about it. You want to sit there and dump 300 hours into Pokemon? Freaking go for it. Just change your batteries.
I almost threw my device across the room when I couldn't beat the Reaper in Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Like, I kept dying, and then I didn't have save states, so I had to restart way back the last time I was at a save point. And go all the way back up, and then kill the Reaper.
For being that mermaid.
Reaper Phase 2, where he has the giant scythe, and he's coming at you. And you're like, no. Chthonox saw me. I was freaking out. I was like, this is bullshit. This is stupid. I hate this game. I'm never playing this game again. Oh, I beat him. Oh, cool.
Good.
All right, let's keep playing. Let's keep going.
Went into
Symphony has a real knack for putting like 20 minutes of platforming between every save point in the boss. They got save points everywhere, but whenever they know a boss is coming up, they really want to fucking grind at your soul. So I save state a lot in Symphony, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm coming out as a save stater.
Man, I really wish Konami would get their crap together and come out with another solid, like 2 or 2.5D Castlevania game instead of focusing on the 3D stuff. Because it's been.
I'm glad that the indie scene has kind of revived Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Metroidvanias to pick from now if that's your thing. And Metroidvanias are really my thing.
But most of them are roguelikes now,
That's true. My first Metroidvania was Axiom Verge, and I was loving it. I was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever into it. And then I got stuck with, a weird navigation challenge where I had to like backtrack and explore. And I was like, this game design sucks. And I never played Axiom Verge again. I was young and naive and foolish, but I've grown since then.
The other thing I've done.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bud.
I kind of feel the same way with Cave Story. Getting to that recently.
Mm-hmm.
Metroidvania, super hard, but more on that later. Continue.
It's similar, but it's definitely more of a super difficult platform, and that was Cuphead. I don't know if you guys played that or not.
Hell,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, I'd like
Holy
to play Cuphead.
crap.
I was startled by it, but I never got the chance.
That was, it's
I wanted
such
to
a-
pick up an Xbox just to play that guy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And you see some of the like speed runs and things like that where they get it done in like 18 minutes or something like that. Like, you people are wizards and clearly don't have children. All right.
That game's very hard.
Yeah. Oh man. That was a good one.
Shovel Knight.
Mm-hmm. Shovel Knight.
Amazing.
Yep.
Owl Boy. Come on.
We've got a huge wave of these retro style indie games that people love. And I'm so happy that these developers aren't, immediately selling out to the very least to the larger companies like EA and Microsoft, and sticking with their stuff. I mean, I know, for instance, Minecraft eventually sold out, but for, was it 6 or 7 years, it was just that development team running the whole thing, and it was
Well,
great.
it kind of harkens back to like, the actual retro era of games development, right? Like back in the NES, Super Nintendo days, really anybody could develop a game if you wanted to, because it was such a limited tool set that it didn't take that much to be on the same page. Like I remember I was reading about Nemo's Dreamland. That was my mom's favorite NES game back in the day. Real charming, cutesy platformer. But I was reading a review on it, right? And the reviewer was like, it's incredible that a small studio made by a few upstarts can achieve the same level of quality as Nintendo with their release of Super Mario Brothers 3. And I just thought that was really cool. Like, anybody could be like quote unquote AAA in those times, because
Right.
it wasn't so, and it didn't consume such a broad variety of fields and areas of expertise and just money to create a big modern game. But nobody, you can't just make a AAA game in the modern era. But at least small developers can get around and develop indie titles.
The perfect example for the modern day, I think, is Stardew Valley, which we've talked about before. I mean, it was literally one guy that was working some odd jobs while he was making his game for 2 or 3 years. And that game has reached a lot of people, just for its relative simplicity, but just stress-free nature, being able to interact with NPCs, all that kind of stuff. And it was a total throwback to SNES games. And I think games like that kind of get people to look at older games where, in the modern day, everything's graphics, all this kind of stuff. And then they now have the ability, their eyes have been open to being able to look back and go, maybe I should get Final Fantasy VI or the original Harvest Moon or, ActRaiser or any of these older games that don't, have jaw-dropping graphics and see what people really enjoyed about them.
Yeah, and we're here to embrace them with open arms and a Metroid Pocket 2 in hand.
You guys forgot to mention Celeste. That's my one of my favorite modern favorite platformers. I had to readjust my classic top 10 list with all games that have been out for more than 20 years to add that one to my list because it's that good.
Yeah, that's a beautiful game. And then you have games like what's the one you like, Chthonox? Limbo?
Yeah, Limbo.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
Limbo is cool.
Fantastic.
That's the one you were always talking about.
Yeah, very fun.
Didn't they get ported to like everything?
I think it did. Yeah, I can't remember where I started. I think I played it on the X360, but I don't remember now.
We have it on PS4 now.
Yeah, we do. But
I think I played Limbo on OnLive. Any of you guys remember OnLive?
Yeah, I remember OnLive.
Well, if the game gets ported to OnLive, that's pretty much a testament to it being everywhere.
To its universality.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Retro?
I'm currently playing Wave Racer right now.
Ooh.
Wave Racer 64 on my new CRT. I got a little desk
whole
next.
setup there.
Yeah, I have a little desk next to my a little table next to my desk that is specifically for a CRT for my Nintendo 64, and I finally got a new TV. And if it wasn't for my old TV breaking, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be chatting with you guys. I wouldn't be on the servers that we met on. I wouldn't be playing the RP2. So I'm grateful for the situation that came about.
Those pictures you put up of your setup with the RP2 to HDMI and all that kind of stuff to the S video.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool way to set all that up. I didn't expect that. I didn't know if those cables would work even, you know.
Thanks to you. Yeah. I asked the question and you answered it.
Those photos were hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since I've seen those pictures, I've been looking for a small CRT TV.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, then my next thought was, because I made a Bluetooth N64 controller, right? My next thought was set it up with Bluetooth and then hide the RP2 back there behind the TV, and you've got basically a classic setup, you know?
Oh, yeah. I use 8-bit DOE SNES Pro Plus. So it's the SNES controller, no cable, and analogs, 2 analog sticks. That's how I set it up to play on my CRT.
So spicy.
Yeah, the 8-bit does feel good. I love the SM30 Plus in particular because it feels like a proper like SNES controller when you're using the D-pad and buttons. But then it's got the versatility. It feels good as like a controller for more modern games too. It really does it all.
I play Splatoon 2 with it. A person would be in the office and they'd be like, "Oh, you like to get on the swivel chair so that you can have that motion control down pat." I'm like, "No, so that I won't look like a fool in front of all the customers."
I picked up my Nintendo Switch for the first time in forever, and I was just fascinated by how large it was. The Switch feels like a big, meaty boy after playing with the RP2 for so long.
It's not a handheld now.
How used to things we get so quickly. You know, I remember with the PSP going from the Game Boy Advance to the PSP thinking, I'm probably not going to use this thing. It's too heavy. It's too big, you know?
Yeah.
And then going from the Switch to the RP2, the RP2 feels tiny.
Yeah.
Compared to it